it's one of those stories where I want to believe it's true, but I also, mostly because I don't want Chuck Barris to have been an insane person. Hello and welcome to Blockbuster Reviews. If you don't know what that is, it is where I play a single game of Tetris Marathon and try to review a film before the blocks reach the top or until 150 lines. Spoilers are at line 50, and here we go. So, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind is a... We're starting off rough. It's a biographical film, but it's based on a book that may be complete bullshit. So the story is based on Chuck Barris, who is a gentleman who used to create television shows. He most notably created the dating game and the newlywed game, and was also the host and creator of the Gong Show, which was a show that my dad and I bonded over because I did not understand what the Gong Show was. They did a reboot, and then I watched some old Gong Show clips, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And of course it was canceled because quality never lasts in this world. But Chuck Barris, while writing the story of how he would become, a very successful television creator, showrunner, also claims to have been a CIA hitman for many years and has claimed to kill over 30 people. So the film goes into detail of how he got in with the CIA, how he was recruited, how he was brought into different countries and expected to commit murder on behalf of the United States government. It's a crazy movie. It's a comedy for sure, but it's almost like a comedy in this crazy Andy Kaufman-esque prank where you have this guy who's supposedly telling you the story of, this is what happened to me. This is why I won't come out of my room. This is why I won't deal with anybody anymore. I won't marry the love of my life. It's because I'm actually the CIA hitman, and I believe there is a mole out there in the CIA who's out murdering my assassin buddies. The film, I really liked it. Sam Rockwell plays Chuck Barris. I didn't know about that at the beginning because from what I remember of Chuck Barris, I was like, I don't know about Sam Rockwell, but he does a good enough job. Drew Barrymore plays his life partner Penny, who they never get married, and Chuck Barris always purported to be kind of like this anti-marriage, almost polyamorous type of deal where I think there was kind of an understanding between him and Penny, but she also just was not appreciative of them having other relationships with other people in the house that they shared. So it was kind of like an interesting thing. According to this film and the book, which I feel like I need to read now, he was sent over to Mexico for murders. He was sent to Berlin and asked to cross over, because this is during the time that Berlin was separated into two different states, one being democratic, one being communist, and he was asked to murder somebody on the communist side, and supposedly he did. He was caught at one point and traded for other agents that turned out to be people that had infiltrated their way to the dating game that he worked on. According to him, it's a wacky story, and it's one of those stories where I want to believe it's true, but I also, mostly because I don't want Chuck Barris to have been an insane person, because I don't think he ever came out and said, oh, this is a joke, by the way. And from what I understand, the because I guess this whole film was in development hell for a while because they couldn't agree on the tone of the film, because some people did not really agree with the kind of dark tone of assassin humor, I guess. They were like, this isn't funny, this is actually very serious, the idea that you're playing with the lives of these people. But then there's also this side of it where, as far as I understand, Chuck Barris just said, no, this is what happened. This is what I was doing in the middle of making these successful game shows. I was murdering people in other countries, and I used chaperoning contestants of the dating game as cover to go to these places. And like I said, I want to believe it just because I don't want Chuck Barris to be crazy. And supposedly they toned down the drug use for the film, which I think would have made the movie make a little bit more sense. The idea that this person is saying, oh, I'm a CIA hitman. It's like, oh, but he's also just completely destroyed his brain with drugs. I think it also would have made sense with his longtime partner, because I don't know how she would just put up with this guy who is like almost never around, seems to bang everything, but comes back to her and has this great relationship. But still, I mean, you don't know what that dude's up to. He could be a murderer for the CIA for all you know. And I think up until his death, he said he was. And really, if you get nothing out of this review, something that is very interesting, it does go over, his life creating very popular TVs, but I think very popular TV shows, but I think the most important would be the creation of the Gong Show, which I didn't realize was getting reviews as like, oh, this is the absolute destruction of like the American psyche. And I'm like, oh wow, they had no idea how worse it was going to get. The Gong Show is just fun for fun's sake, and it's something that I think we needed in television now, but alas, it did not make it. Anyway, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. You decide whether to believe it or not. I kind of just don't want Chuck Barris to be an insane person. But, there's a lot of insane people out there. Anyway,